Okay, let's go.
Hello everybody. Is everybody okay today? My lights are okay. I haven't got on. I haven't got this on. It is rather warm here in the UK today. Lights on. There we go. I've got no monitor in front of me today, so I haven't the faintest idea what's going to be going on. You're going to have to be my eyes, Louise.
Oh,
You're going to
okay.
be my eyes.
I don't want to be your eyes. I know the kind of things you like to look at.
That makes me sound terrible. That really does make me sound terrible. So I have no idea what's happening on the World Wide Web. And
Why haven't you got your...
Because I haven't had time to put it together.
Oh.
I can do, but it would mean coming on just that little bit late, and I didn't really want to do that because we were late as it was.
You were already late, yeah. That's never happened before, is it?
Can everybody hear us? That is the main thing. Can everybody hear? If everybody can hear, just give us a thumbs up. Let's get a bit of a soft fade between each frame. That's good. I've been looking for that. That's the camera holder.
Ah.
Aha. Alrighty. Good. Everyone is looking good. I'm looking amazing as usual. Louise is looking absolutely gorgeous today. Looking very summery there, Louise.
Thanks.
I'm
assuming that was a compliment.
Yes, it was. Yes, that's my sort of compliment, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not obvious sometimes that it's a compliment.
Obvious.
Right, I think I'm just about organised. I got 2 opal fruits in front. I'll show my age. Well, they're not opal fruits. What are they?
Starburst now.
Starbursts.
I still call them opal fruits.
Who prefers opal fruits? Who prefers opal fruits? The name opal fruits to Starburst. I don't know why they've changed it. I really don't. It's the same as Jif. And they've called that Sif now, haven't they? It's not good. Okay, it's enough of that. Good. What's happening, Lou? Anything happening in the chat? Oh, I hear you booked up your spectroscope. You did that last week, didn't you?
I did that last week, yeah. So that's done.
Good.
Yeah, excited for that. I don't know if there's any places left.
I don't know.
But yeah, if you check the website, if you're interested in gemstone spectroscopy.
And what website would that be?
Gemology Rocks. Shall I put the link on?
Please do. We don't.
Maybe, Andrew, if you were paying attention last week, you can explain what a spectroscope is.
A spectroscope is a little device that throws out the spectrum of a gemstone along like a strip, and it splits up the light into various patterns, and those patterns relate to what type of gemstone it would be.
Yes. So it tells you what wavelengths are absorbed, essentially, yeah.
Yes.
So it's very, very handy.
So I said it in a really layman's type of explanation. Like, so it's not refraction, is it?
No.
So that's a refractometer.
Yeah.
So the light passes through the stone, or does it bounce in and bounce back?
Yeah, it'll show you what what wavelengths are absorbed of white light.
Okay. So does it pass it through from one side through the stone to the other?
So the light comes through the stone, yeah, and then into the spectroscope.
Nice.
Through the stone.
Okay. And the facets play no part in that at all?
No, I don't think so, no.
Okay. That's okay.
It just shows you the absorption.
Good.
And sorry, I can't multitask for the life of me.
Yes, you can. You can.
I'm just going to put the link on in case anyone's interested.
Good.
There. Ooh, no, I just made it big. Wait a minute. No. And I'll be there, and it's going to be a fabulous time to visit Cardiff, really, isn't it?
It is. In Seoul Court in Llandaff in
Seoul Court, yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's an amazing place.
Right, sorry, I'm finally I should have done this before, shouldn't I?
No, it's fine.
Copy. Paste. There, boom. Okay.
Boom, she says.
Yeah.
Are we all done?
Good. I think so, yes.
All done. So it's a spectroscope course run by Kerry Gregory from Gemology Rocks.
Yes. Cool.
Good. Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so. Do we need to mention anything else? Susan, I'm sorry, I haven't looked at emails yet. I do apologise, no. So I'll have a look at them later on.
Again, we're short-staffed again this week.
Yes.
Majorly short-staffed this week. Everyone's decided to have time off.
Well, this is summer, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's boiling hot, isn't it? It's the summer when we're supposed to have holidays, Louise.
I know.
Are we going on holiday?
I don't know.
We are.
We are we?
I said that we are going on holidays.
Well, you said that and then you let your passport expire, so here we are. How convenient.
There's method to my madness.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
You ready to start?
Yes. Let's go.
It is Monday, the 8th of August. Where is the time flying by? 4 p.m. Time for our regular Q&A sessions. Got my lanyard on, and my lanyard has my name on it so I don't forget it. It's Andrew, and that holds on to my loop. Anyway, enough of that. Louise, let's have our first question with you.
Okay, Janelle is saying, I really get the opportunity to catch the Q&A live. I'm so happy to be here and grateful for all the assistance.
Good.
Oh, yay, welcome. Okay, questions. Ooh. Chit chat, this is good. Okay. I need to get the first question ready, don't I, next time? Okay, Penny. Hiya, Penny. I did my first elf clay casting of a button. I have sawn off the sprue, but there's a lot of excess metal to file. What would be best to use in my Fordham to take more off without going too far?
So the main objective is obviously to cut with your saw as close as you can to the master. That way you can keep the metal. The metal is all then in the sprue, then you can recycle that metal. What you don't want to do is, let's see, we've got all this left from last week. Sorted out Sandy's, good. So you've got your button. What you don't want to do, here's your button from a funny angle, like that. There's your button. I've no idea how it's going to be. And that's absolutely rubbish, Andrew. Let's do a side view of a button then, shall we? I presume your button would be sort of that sort of shape and you've got little holes coming through. So here would be your sprue coming in here. This is your sprue, okay? The idea would be to cut off right as near as possible, because once you've done that, you've got all this metal that you can keep, right? But, that's the board, not me, if you... Your one's the best. If you come along and cut across here, okay, yes, you've got all this, but all this here now, you're going to have to file down, then you're going to have to buff down with the emery paper, whatever, and you're going to lose all this. Yes, you can reclaim it as Lemel, and you can send that off to refiners, but the value of Lemel is less than what your silver is. You won't be able really to recast the bit of metal that you cut off here, because it's going to be full of other not sawdust, but emery paper and so forth. So you're not really going to be able to use it. So I would always, first of all, cut as close as you possibly can to your master so you can keep all that. The best things, Penny, is to go onto here, atthebench.store, okay? I think it may be on the front page. They are sanding belts, okay? So we've got belts like that, and they are full of emery paper. That goes then onto a drum with a little screw head by here. It's an expanding rubber drum. These belts are coarse, right? They're like 80 grit. And as they are so coarse, they will get rid of the metal really quick. It should be... It's okay. Yeah, so they're sanding drums. They are really coarse, 80 grit. That's the coarsest they go. There's like 80, 100, 120. There's a video on there showing Lee using them. They are brilliant for getting rid of excess metal. Okay, you've got to buy the mandrel, otherwise they're not going to work. They're not the sandpaper rolls that has the roll of paper onto the mandrel. These sanding drums or sanding belts are a lot more coarse. Get yourself a mandrel. They come in packs of 10, which is going to last you. I've had an 80 grit downstairs. I must have had that for nearly 3 weeks now, and I use it 3 or 4 times a week for getting rid of really rough pieces of metal, or perhaps if we've resized rings and we're getting rid of the bit that's inside the shank. Absolutely brilliant. So that is what I would recommend. I wouldn't necessarily go through all the grits from 80 and upwards. I would start off perhaps with an 80, perhaps a 120, and then swap over then to your sanding drums or your buff sticks. But these sanding drums, sanding belts, and if when Louise has got 2 seconds, perhaps you'll be able to put the link into the chat. Not necessarily now, because I'll be asking you next question now. But but your sanding drum, put your microphone back on now, okay?
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Are you back on, yeah?
I think so.
Good, good. So yeah, so the sanding belts on the atthebench.store, sanding belts, not the, or they can maybe call sanding drums. Mandrels about £8, I think, but these come in packs of 10. They are going to last you forever. Okay, sanding belts.
Sanding belts.
Belts or sanding drums, not the sandpaper rolls, but or they could be emery belts. Emery, yeah. I can't see what you're looking at. I don't have my monitor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so that is going to be the best thing to use to get rid. But the best thing is cut off. You can reuse that silver. But if you've got a bit, these belts are the bee's knees. And I was using them today to get rid of platinum off the inside. Instead of using a half round file on the inside of shanks, I put one of these in the flex shaft. Literally 10 seconds later, the metal is gone. It's brilliant.
Just put it in the chat for you guys.
Yep, sanding belts, not sandpaper rolls. Yeah.
Yes.
Excellente. Good, good, good. So Louise, should we have our next question?
Yes. Helena is asking, are all steel bench blocks equal? My new one has a surface texture of little lines and now hammer marks. Should I have polished it before starting, or is it a poor quality one?
I would not say it's a poor quality one. This is one that I've had for quite a while. On this side, I've got dents. And what is going to dent is going to be the hammer. Where's my hammer? Where's my hammer? Can't get this out of here without this going off. Yeah. So here we go. So you hit steel upon to steel, you are going to get dents naturally. But if you have a metal like steel, like silver or gold or copper upon these steel blocks, and it is purely that bit of metal hitting the block, because that metal is softer than the steel, it will not dent the steel block. It is usually your hammer that is putting the marks into the steel block. Now what I always do, I always keep one side nice and smooth. We've got some little surface marks here, a bit of flux on there, but this is lovely and smooth, albeit slightly scratched because it's always down this way being moved around. On this face I've got little dings. You may be able to see some sort of dents in this sort of area by here. So this is the face that I would use for any rough shaping, perhaps flattening bits of solder if you want to make them thinner. But the other side I would use then for finishing. So I keep two sides. I think they are hardened to a degree, but you've got a steel hammer and you're coming along and you're whacking and whacking, it's going to dent no matter what. So keep one side smooth, keep one side for bashing, and you should be fine. If you want to remove some of the marks, get a nice rough bit of emery paper, put this downwards and rub it in a figure of 8 motion, smooth the paper, figure of 8 motion, and keep going smoother and smoother and smoother. If you're bored one day and you've got nothing else to do, you should be able to remove the majority of dents that appear on the block. But apart from that, if you do buy a new one, keep one side for rough, keep one side for lovely and smooth planishing, and you should be fine. What was the question again, Louise?
The question was, steel bench blocks, are all steel bench blocks equal?
So I would say, you buy a cheap one, it's not necessarily going to have the same hardness. We sell Durston bench blocks, they will dent. Any bench block is going to dent, but the more that you pay, the better quality, the harder it should be. But don't let that put you off. You can get away with a cheap little block like this, as long as you look after it. Some other question, please.
Okie dokie. Oh, Helen. Oh, that was something else. No, okay. Louise took Andrew's monitor so he can't see the questions. No, Downey was just too lazy to set it up. It's his own fault. It's over there in the corner.
It was more important to get everybody tuned into the Q&A today.
Yes. Right, my chat is jumping all over the place again. Okay, you can just entertain yourself, Andrew, while I... Oh, TK, do you have any recommendations on how to learn about jewellery history? I would just say read and read. In fact, that's what I was doing. I was getting some books that I can personally recommend.
Okay.
I don't know, what would you say? I say just dive straight into reading and start.
I think you're better off trying to perhaps pick an era, a certain time in the past, obviously.
I have got a book at home, sorry to interrupt you, and that's what I was looking for, and it's a jewellery appraisal book, but it's got sections. It's got like a broad overview of themes and styles without going into too much depth, so that's probably a really good place to start, but I think I've left it in the house.
Yes, so I think you should have, as you say, a particular theme or a particular time in history that you need to look at, you know, prehistoric jewellery or something like that, or Tudor jewellery, Renaissance. If you're looking for a particular technique, things like, I might as well put that directly over to you now.
Oh, I was going to say, this is a really good book.
Yep.
Jewels That Made History, 100 Stones, Myths and Legends by Stelaine Volandes.
Yep.
And
okay.
it's got basically famous jewels in here. So like the affair of the necklace, the Louis XIV, I think, story.
Ah, yes, you were talking about that, weren't you?
Yeah, so like 1930s, crown jewels. Yeah, so there's all the important ones, not all the important ones, but some of the important ones in here.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Which is basically what I was saying about...
Sorry, yeah, I interrupted you.
No, time in history.
Yeah, so it goes back, it starts in the beginning, so
the title is chapter
1292 BC.
Yes. And
takes you through to, I think, the 90s? No, actually 2018, so it's got, yeah, Princess Eugenie, Lady Gaga, so it doesn't go into huge depth, but the breadth is...
But the breadth is good, and then perhaps you can go through the book and go, do you know what, I like that era, I'm going to research that a bit more. That's the style of jewellery I like, I want to make, I want to find a bit more, and then you've got a chance to go and have a look. And
if you're in the UK, I don't know if you can do this, if you're not in the UK, I would recommend joining the Society of Jewellery Historians.
Yes.
Because we've joined up, haven't we?
Yes,
We've got, you can get a joint membership.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much we paid. I know it wasn't
much.
And it's run by, is it run by Jack Ogden? Or is he?
I think he's involved in it, yes.
Yeah, he's a massively influential, very, very knowledgeable man and well respected, isn't he?
An ex-Nudge.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that. And he's a gemologist, so yeah, he really knows his stuff. So, you know, it's going to be good if he's involved. Have you met him?
No.
No, I'd love to meet him.
You get a quarterly magazine as well.
Yes, you get a quarterly magazine, and there's also like workshops as well.
Lectures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I say workshops, lectures. Yeah. So periodically you get an email, and you can jump onto this lecture. And they're always really interesting, so that might be worth, and that's the Society of Jewellery Historians, British Society of Jewellery Historians. And you get your journal every 3 months. And it's good, it's great, so yeah.
That's an ideal way to learn as well.
Yeah, definitely, because it just lands in your inbox or on your doorstep, and yeah, it's fab.
Brilliant.
Cool.
How about that? Well answered.
I'll try and find that out of the book. It was annoying me, that's why there was rustle and things flying everywhere in there, but I think it's at home, and that's another good one.
And I think that the good thing is that if you take a particular designer, like we quite like Tiffany, and I know we've got like a Tiffany Untouched book at home. If you like Cartier, there's a book specifically upon Cartier. What's the other people? Fabergé.
You've got quite a few nice ones, yeah.
Some lovely books solely about Fabergé. I know when they restored one of their, I think it was their workshops in London, they found like a room that was virtually all bricked up, and it was full of all the books, all the design books, who it went to. They itemised all the costs, all the drawings were in it, and they tried to get them pictures of those particular pieces from the owners for the book. Absolutely fantastic book. I was so
Fab.
impressed with the book. When I had it, I put one of those clear little covers on it because I knew I was going to be
You're
reading
gonna
it,
be-
and I wanted to keep it.
Oh, that's cute.
That's how cute I was in those days. Right, should we have another question,
So
please, Liv?
yes, if I
Unless
yeah.
there's anything else you want to carry on with.
No. I was going to say if I can find any other books that we've got we can recommend, I'll let you know. But
Yes, certainly.
yeah, there's just we can't walk past a second-hand bookshop without.
Oh my God, we got to pop
We
in.
usually come out with something, don't we?
What was the latest ones we had?
I bought one on Coco Chanel, didn't I?
You did, yes.
Which is not directly related, but yeah, she was involved in jewellery and
And what else? What was the other one we had?
so on minerals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was another one as well that we bought. Lily.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
bought
I haven't
Lily?
even got a chance to read in that. And this one I think was in. I haven't read this one. I can't recommend it because I don't know, but it looks brilliant. It's got lovely photographs. Yeah, it's really good. So anything like that you can pick up for a couple of pounds is worth having, isn't it?
Oh my God, you never know when you're ever going to need it.
Absolutely.
Excellent, super.
Okay. Do you want another question
Yes,
now?
please. Media.
Okay. Lots of talking about opal fruits now.
I'm sorry, munching through mine. Bit at a time.
Okay, Susan's saying, Andrew, a jeweller uses clay to hold prawns, etc., and then pours plaster on top, then removes the clay and solder the embedded prongs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With plasticine, Play-Doh, anything like that, and all they do. It is not a new technique. It's a technique that has been around for centuries, and it's only I think someone from Asia started to do it, and then there's a couple of Instagram people then who just repost and repost and repost. But it's green. It can be whatever colour. It can be pink. It can be white. It can be orange. It can be blue. It can be yellow. It's just a little bit of plasticine. Play-Doh, Daz clay, anything that holds the claws in place. It's old school. There are other ways that you can do that now with using things like a laser or a puck, but it is old school. You can stand there with us, sit there with a torch and solder each one individually, but this is great because it will hold all the claws together. The investment powder can be investment powder. It can be plaster of Paris, but just pour it on. Make sure you don't have too much of it. Just have enough. Get a little sleeve of paper just to put over what you want. Don't have it too deep. The only reason being that it just takes a little bit longer to go off. Warm it up, put it on a radiator, put it in the sun, just to get rid of all the water. Then you peel off the plasticine. You can reuse the plasticine or whatever you've used, and then all the claws should be there to solder back on. We did something very similar to that using plaster of Paris or investment powder. Someone mentioned on the forum. Don't forget, if you're on At the Bench, go onto the forum, please. It's absolutely brilliant. But we did something with getting little balls to stick onto a dome. If you try and solder them, they're going to slide off. But we glued them on. I think we glued them on with super glue to hold them in place. Then we got the plaster of Paris then over the top of it, turned it over, and then we managed to solder them all together. That's another question, answer, whatever. That's another question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Stuart recommended the Caroline Cox. Woo! The Caroline Cox book, my second-hand bookshop.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Stuart says, another great book, takes you through each decade of the 20th century. So that's going to give you a nice broad overview as well of the 20th century. Yeah, vintage jewellery by Caroline Cox.
Any relation?
No, I don't think so anyway.
You never know.
Never know. Right, Penny saying, another question, is a rubber wheel the same as a silicone wheel?
Usually, yes. It depends upon what is contained within the rubber wheel. The silicon carbide relates to the abrasive. It is usually mixed with a rubber. So yes, it depends upon the nature of the abrasive within the wheel or the mop. Yes, usually yes.
Okay.
And you can get different grades. Yes.
Good. Terry is saying, what type of product is best for colouring in engraved lines to make it stand out?
Okay, there's lots of things out there. You can use things like a Sharpie, not the best. But as long as it is a permanent marker, you can use. There is a certain pen that you can get from Cookson's, like an enamelled pen, black, and they use that then for colouring in the stampings. If you do stamping, we stamp the letters, you can cover in the letters. We've used those for engraving when we've engraved links. It's okay. I would personally prefer to use something like a cold enamel. It's like a resin, 2-part resin. You usually have a hardener and a adhesive. It's hardener and a resin. The resin can be all different colours, whatever colour. Mix it with a hardener, it will go off. Or, remember the old days Airfix kits? And it's not the old days because they still do Airfix kits now, but I'm talking about when I was a kid. Airfix black enamel, brilliant for infilling in engravings or perhaps the backs of rings that you've cut into, or you've applied embellishments on top and you want to infill. That's really good as well. So yes, cold enamel, black Airfix paint, or this special pen that you can buy from Crookson's. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called.
Is that the one?
I can't find it now. It's gone.
I don't think it was that great. I think it lost its... It was great. It looked good initially, but it didn't seem to have any longevity, did it?
No. I think the engraving had to be deeper.
Okay.
And then it would be lower into it, and then it's not going to abrade. I've actually made up something using some CAD software, that tile that we did.
Oh yeah.
And I've got to infill that. So I'm going to infill that with cold resin. It's going to be better than anything else. You could even use something like a patina the whole thing, and then rub off the top.
Like a liver of sulphur.
Yeah, exactly, to reveal the back. But I think to infill it with a cold resin or a black Airfix enamel paint would be super. And the best thing about the Airfix kits is that you used to be able to buy the little tins like that.
I bet you the mod's got some of them if you want them.
I bet he has, yes. Good. Remind me, if he's watching.
I think he is, yeah. Mod. Bro. John, sorry. Call it Mod now to his face when I see him.
Save us some black enamel. Black enamel paint.
Yeah.
Another question.
Okay. Gillian is saying, I got given a bag of brushes and mops, but they are too big for my flet shaft. Is there an attachment I can get to use on my flet shaft and Dremel?
Okay. If you have the quick release hand piece, no. It's 2.35mm. What you're going to have to buy, and I think it's a bit overkill for the cost, is you're going to have to buy the number 30 Jacob's chuck, because then you've got this almost like a drill like here that will be able to accept whatever size. These are invaluable, mind you. We love these because if you do happen to have anything that's bigger than 2.35mm, you can use this. You can use it for your little circular saw when you come to cut your jump rings from the jump ring maker. We've got the new, I don't know where it is, it's in the corner. We've got the new Saturn graver sharpening system. We've got to put that together. This uses that, and there are lots of things that use this. So these are ideal to get for your flex shaft. Number 30 handpiece, Jacob's chuck. With your Dremel, when you have your Dremel, first of all, it usually comes with adjustable chucks, which then you should be able to use your 3mm diameter mandrels. I swapped that out for, what was I swapped that out for? A 3-jaw chuck on the Dremel that we've got. But a Dremel should be able to. If I can find it quickly, there's my Dremel by there. Let me find this. Let me hopefully. Here we go. So, ow, that's my knee. So this is a Dremel that we've got, and I've put on this again. It's that little 3-jaw chuck, and we can fit in a variety of different sizes within that. This is available separately, usually from the Dremel. The Dremel comes with fixed collets, 2 or 3 of them, but this little piece on the end is absolutely invaluable. That is available. I think I bought that off Amazon. It's about £12, but really good if you've got a Dremel. There we go.
Good.
But obviously you have to weigh up now. Are all the brushes something that you're going to use? Do you know what the brushes are, or mops or whatever? If the brushes are only going to cost you £5–10, is it worth buying something like this that's going to cost you a lot more money to use £5 worth of brushes? You have to weigh up the pros and cons. And before you start eating that, it's another question.
Eating this? I'd have a job.
Oh,
Break my teeth.
I thought it was an open fruit, sorry.
Not not everything in my hand I'm going to eat.
Well, that's another question.
Jane is trying to get a stardust texture on a ring. I bought some different thickness mini texture wheels. I've had a go, but it just looks scratchy. Is there a knack to doing this?
Slow speed. It's got to be a slow speed. The faster the speed, the faster they come round, and the faster, the shallower the detail. They've got to be slow. There's a maximum speed of roughly around about 3,000 revs. Wouldn't even do it to that. Have I got one here? No, I don't. Yes, I do. I got a larger one here. So this is a much larger one, but again, it works on the same principle. Let me see what I can do very quickly here now. It's okay for a texture if you're after something that is a bit more of a starburst effect. Talking of opal fruits. What are you looking at? My glasses. I have glasses. I will get my glasses now. But yes, everything that you do with these frosting wheels, you should have some sort of eye protection.
With any rotary tool.
Yeah, with any rotary tool. There's me gogs. Never far from rotary tool protections.
Don't laugh.
You're supposed to see me on there. All right, so here we go. This is my bit of paper. This is this going around. And it is, when it hits the metal, take these off now. There we go. You should be able to see it has a texture, but it isn't your starburst effect. The only way to get like a starburst dazzle effect is to use, I'm going with me up here now, is to use a hammer handpiece.
Sound's gone.
My sound's gone?
Mm-hmm.
My sound's gone. Test.
Apparently.
Hello, testing, testing. Is my sound? Hello, testing, testing. No, I'm still there.
No. Oh,
You
the
still
mod's
there?
saying the sound's gone again. No?
No. I seem to be okay. I seem to be okay. Everything's still working. I can't see the chat. Am I still there?
The sound's gone. Oh, it's back apparently. Okay, good.
So yeah, the only way to do it is to get a hammer handpiece, like the reciprocating handpiece, and getting an attachment that goes into the end. And what that is like a diamond tipped tool. It's an industrial diamond that's upside down, or there's a nice sharp point, and that will come along and it'll impart a little sharp, bright dent. That comes round, it's thin wires, hits the surface, it's going to do that. Okay, so the surface is just full of little dents. Okay, not much of a texture. It does give a texture, but perhaps not the texture that you're after. With the reciprocating handpiece, it's a diamond tip that comes down like that. And this, in this area here, is a little diamond on the bottom, okay? And as that goes up and down, reciprocating up and down, it's going to produce, across the surface, very sharp V's. That all the walls inside those V's, okay, you may have like a little facet, all these are going to be really shiny. This is the metal. These are the V's that are constantly put in, perhaps not that shallow, they're a bit more acute than that. They are more like this, okay? And there's little facets, and all the faces inside these are lovely and shiny because the diamond tip here is lovely and shiny. That way the light comes down, it gets reflected, comes down, it gets reflected and so forth. Get the idea? And it's more reflective by using that than this. This is a texture, this is a bit more of a diamond cut in one respect, but it is just a reciprocating handpiece with a diamond putting dents into the surface, and the dents are polished edges to all the surfaces. See, that's what you get. That's what you want. This is what you want. This. These are great, but they only produce like a frosted effect. You want your dazzle, you've got to go with this. Yes, Lou.
Yes, Helen is saying, going back to the super glue, did the super glue give off noxious fumes when you heated it?
I did. I kept my head away.
Okay, yeah.
Keep your head away.
Good to mention though, yeah. Thank you, Helen.
Nice. I think I did on the film, but yes,
okay.
Good to mention again, yes.
Okay, good, good, good. The mod's saying, don't use enamel so much, use Citadel mini paints, but they're water-based, so they'd be no good.
No good, yeah.
Okay.
Does he have any black?
Citadel mini paint, the water-based.
No, but does the mod have any?
Of that, water-based?
No. Black enamel?
No, that's what you're saying.
None left at all.
John?
In a little box, anything like that.
I don't know.
You
can ask him on the weekend.
Okay.
Okay. David's saying, I have a collet vise on a shaft that fits into my Fordham chuck that allows for big... Oh, that wasn't a question, sorry. Janelle is saying, I'm signing up for a 10-week beginner silversmith course in the fall. What advice do you offer for new students to how to get most out of hands-on sessions?
I think the thing to do would be to understand the basics. What is really going to propel your learning is understanding the basics. What you don't want to do is spend the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks learning how to pierce, how to saw. I don't know where my saw is now. Where's my saw? I don't know where my saw is. There it is there. Okay, so what you want to do, if you get your own tools, and you can pick up a box of tools quite reasonably, like a student starter kit, you'll get something like this in addition to everything else. It's a saw, a piercing saw. Learn to saw with it. Get some pieces of copper, put them in front of you. If you join at the bench, if you join for a month, we've got some really nice, simple ideas, beginners sawing, beginners soldering, that sort of thing, that you should try and master before you get onto the course. If you can do that, you're going to be well ahead of everybody else, and it's going to be great because for the first couple of weeks, everyone's going to be learning how to pierce, not very well. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean. But you'll be able to come at, you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is that you're going to be there, you're going to be, yeah, I can cut corners, sharp corners, I can do this. You're going to be well ahead. Head start. That's exactly what I mean. Yes, head start. Understand how to saw. Understand the principles of soldering. You may not buy the equipment yourself, but if you understand what needs to be put into place to able to be successful when it comes to soldering, close fitting joints, nice and clean, no tarnish, no sticky on it, clean it, put it in your pickle, get all the gubbins off the surface, make sure you've got close fitting joints, make sure you use your right flux, make sure you use the right solder, in which order do you use the different melting points of solder. Go through all that, get that understanding in your head, and you'll be well away. So it is all the basics that you really do need to know, if you know what I mean. And as soon as you start the course, bam, you can be top of the class. Special hat on, have a little prize for being best in class. You'll be well away, you'll be well away. That's my sort of recommendation, yeah.
So swat it before you go, basically.
Yeah, be a swat, be top of the class.
B is saying, can you name that piece again? I think it was the
diamond tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you can pick them up.
Is that what you? If it's not what you meant, V, just put it in the comments and I'll put it right.
It's available from everywhere. It's available from places like Stella and Rio. I think GRS produce it. I think it is. It's a threaded mandrel. The threads into your Fordham. There's like a little collet here, and this comes down to this, and on the bottom there's a little diamond like that. There's a hole through there that you put that through to tighten up into your handpiece. It's a diamond tipped handpiece. It doesn't go revolving. You've got to put it into a hammer action handpiece, and it's reciprocating. It goes duh, 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 or. Don't run it too fast, just nice and slow, duh, 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 so forth. Cooks and sell it. I know that. I've had one for about 15 years. It's starting to lose the point a bit now we've used it that much, but that is what you need to get. It's a diamond tipped, like a hammer handpiece end tool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. If you're still not sure, Fee, just message me, or if you're the Fiona I think you are, just send me a message on Facebook or whatever, and I can send you a link to it.
Yeah.
Cool. David, no, sorry, I've missed somebody out. Sandra, what happens if you use the coarsest starburst bit, put it in patina and polish off the high points?
Yeah, that'll work. Definitely, yeah. You get a slight aged effect. Yes, you can do that, no problem at all. Just got to make sure that when you do remove all the hot spots, the high spots.
Yeah, will it look like the fairy dust technique?
No, I think the fairy dust technique you're referring to is little shavings, lemon that you sprinkle on the surface. That is going to be a lot more coarse, because that is physically little bits and tiny little bits of metal on the surface. The frosting wheels are literally that. They are frosting wheels, texture wheels. It's quite a smooth surface. If you want to get that look, you'd have to either go for that the diamond tipped starburst effect, where you put all the lemon upon the surface and fuse it into the surface. That is the best way to get that sort of effect. Frosting, it is just purely to apply some sort of directional pattern to a piece.
Okay.
Yes, no.
Good. Helena's saying, how would you mirror polish before putting the starburst texture on or after? But sorry, I read that wrong. Sorry, I read it wrong again. Would you mirror polish before putting the starburst texture or after?
If you're referring to the diamond tip, it doesn't matter too much, providing you diamond tip the whole surface. So there's your surface, and you go and you miss a bit, and you go and you miss a bit. These areas are going to be really dull, obviously. So what you need to do, if you think you're not going to cover the whole surface, is to polish the whole surface so it gets a lovely high shine. Then you can go and don't forget, it's producing these tiny little dents across the whole surface. There will be areas within the dents that you're not perhaps going to be able to join up, so to have a polished surface would be advantageous in that. But if you've only got a small little area and you can put all that texture on, you should be fine, good to go. So depending upon how much area you've got to go, big sheet, you want texture, polish it all, because you're never going to get all these little dents overlapping. If they don't overlap, you're going to be left with little bits of the surface. If they're matte, they're going to show matte and not look very good. Yes, Lou. Oh, wrong one again. There we go.
David is saying, when jewellery is mass produced, the term diamond cut is used. What does this term actually mean?
So a diamond cut. Do I have a diamond cut wheel up here? I thought it was downstairs. I think it's downstairs. You can pick up diamond cutting tools. You can pick them up on eBay. You can get different angles. Okay. So what we're looking at is they are. Oh, that's one on you for some reason, there, Louise. There we go. Better. So what you're looking at is you can do the diamond cutting yourself. You can go on eBay, and all it is a 2.35mm mandrel. Upon that is a bigger shaft like that, and embedded into that is a little 90-degree diamond or 180-degree. So this is the angle that they're referring to. So a 90-degree would be that. Perhaps 120-degree would be something like that. Perhaps 135 would be something like that. This then will relate to what is imparted in the piece when this is spun round. This has to be spun around about 30,000 revs, usually full whack on the flex shaft. It is dangerous because you keep
This is mass produced now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same as this, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying you can produce. So what it is, it's a wheel. It's the same thing that's going to be available in mass produced as well. Sometimes what you're going to find that this is going to be revolving in a machine. I was replying to this, so you can do it yourself if you want to.
Just showing that I'm paying attention.
Well done, Louise, well done. But you don't want to get your hands anywhere near this. This is a diamond tip revolving at 20 to 30,000 revs every minute. It'll take your finger off. No, it won't. It'll take your skin off. So be very, very, very careful of what you're doing. Eye protection, obviously. So you can hold a piece and get that in a flex shaft, and you can come and go, okay? Other ways they're going to do it in mass manufacture, they're going to put a ring. There's like a stock here that comes out like this. There's a wheel here with indexes all the way around, okay? All equal. The ring then gets put upon here, like that. So that's the ring. Okay, so that's slid on this way. And what happens is that there is a flywheel that is spinning around up here. And that has your 90-degree wheel. This is spinning very, very fast. And what happens then, it comes along, you push the lever upwards, the ring comes forward, it goes tick, tick, and takes a piece out, yeah? What you do then, you move the ring to the index that's on the outside. So say you want to do 4 patterns, you'd move it along to the next one at 90 degrees. Once you've done that, this is still spinning. You push this upwards, it goes tick into the spinning. Does that make sense? You come back down, index it, tick, and so forth. You can do it by hand or it's done by machine. There's some guys on YouTube, I think it's called the Jewelry Workshop. They've got one of these machines, and if you trim the ring at a slight angle, it'll produce another diamond cut at a slight angle and so forth. Very good machine, very good results. The machines are very expensive, but I said you can do it yourself by using those. So what does it mean? It means cutting with a diamond. It's cut in that way. But this indexing wheel here, this will rotate, and you want to put like an equal pattern all the way around. You can move the index all the way around, so the ring goes at a certain exact position every time. It has a depth stop, so it'll come along to a certain depth. You know what I mean. And that's my diamond cut machine working now. Is another question.
Good noise. Okay. Dan is saying, is it the Diamolite Pave tip for hammer hand pieces? Going back to the...
I would have thought so. I'd have to double check. But
texture.
But it is a diamond tipped hand piece for the hammer hand pieces, yes.
Good. Fabulous, thank you. ZB Jewellery, I started using electric melting furnace and all the casts seem to be coated with graphite. Any tips? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I read that I can't use borax in it, but maybe that's wrong.
Yeah, you should not need to use borax in the graphite crucibles. There's no need. Graphite is a brilliant substance. Be very careful when you're putting your bits and pieces into the graphite crucible. The crucibles are normally about 9 inches long. Don't drop them down from the top like that, because when it hits the bottom, the crucible will just shatter and it will fall out at the bottom. Turn them at a slight angle and just put stuff into the crucible and let it slide down to the bottom. Don't add flux. Don't add flux. I'm not quite sure. This could be the reason why you're getting this problem, but you should never need to use flux at all. Put your scraps into it. Get yourself a graphite rod as well. They're about a foot, 14 inches long, 30 centimetres, 35 centimetres long. Keep one for gold, keep one for silver. Once all your scrap or your castings are completely up to temperature, take the lid off, put your graphite stirring rod in, give it a swoosh, that should be enough. Then you can pour it out. So no borax. If you put borax into it, throw the crucible away, get yourself a new graphite crucible. They're only cheap, and start again. There's no need for borax. That could be the problem. And there should be then no graphite then being coated on the castings.
Good. Okay. David, going back to the diamond cut, I was not sure if it meant cutting with a diamond or the finished produced with a cutter. Or the finish produced with the cutter. Sorry, I read it
Yeah,
wrong.
the finish is produced with a diamond-tipped cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a texture-ish type thing.
It is. It's almost like a posh file. Instead of filing the surface, it's a diamond tip that removes, like a graver. I mean, when you engrave metal, it's like that, but it's automated. It's a diamond tip flywheel flying around.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Another question, Louise.
That's it.
Oi!
Hey! Woo! Oh, yeah, the mod. Oh, yes, we do have to mention the second part of the workshop was scheduled for next week. Unfortunately, it's going to be postponed another week. I'm terribly sorry. It's just, it's not ready. And we're not going to roll it out if it's not ready, because we're doing you guys a disservice. So I'm really, really sorry, but it is going to be the week after, which is the
22nd?
Yeah. No. Yes. Yes, the 22nd. I can't believe it's nearly the end of August. Already? In a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. So the mod's been working on the existing pricing spreadsheet, which we're going to further develop. The mod doesn't actually know that yet. To include factors you need to think about if you're transitioning from somebody who works in a home setup to somebody who's more reliant on their income as a jewellery maker. So those factors will be added to the pricing spreadsheet.
I think we will have two spreadsheets, because we really want to take off some things, like an hourly rate will be taken off, and it'll be replaced with things like overheads and that sort of thing.
It'll be a different spreadsheet. Yeah.
So there'll be two spreadsheets available to you.
Yes.
The basic one and the more advanced one.
Yeah, you might not need the second one yet. You might not need it at all. You might need it now. You might decide to ignore the whole thing. It's up to you.
And just ad hoc. Because we have had some lovely people mention, well, this is what I do. This is what I do. And I've used your spreadsheet, and actually it comes out pretty much the same.
That's great.
Brilliant. You're doing it right.
Yeah.
So it's my opal for halfway through.
You're deleting it.
Yeah. So whatever you're using, and if it's working for you, great. But use the spreadsheet as well just to try and compare, because you've got to take everything into consideration, factor everything in, and if the way you're doing it now measured up to the spreadsheet, hallelujah, brilliant, not a problem.
Even if it just gives you confirmation and confidence that your pricing is in line. I was going to say correct, because there is no correct, is there? But you're not underpricing, because that's the last thing you want to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is really good. And a lot of people have approached me and said, I'm really, really glad, because I've been using the spreadsheet and I've realised that I have been underpricing. So that's nice to know.
Yeah, and if you underprice, you may be losing money.
Well, you will be, won't you?
Definitely. Yes, and if you undercut it, that's not good.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's not good for anybody.
No. Shall we run that up then? 5 o'clock?
Well, I was going to do an extra 5 to 10 minutes because we were a bit late coming on. But
what had you planned on doing, Louise?
Nothing.
For the extra 5 or 10 minutes?
Right.
Have you anything in mind? Do us a song and dance?
No.
Okay.
Scrappy, hiya, Scrap Martin. Listening to the Q&A on my phone with a 10-minute delay. Looking for a 14-carat gold butterfly which flew away during polishing. Oh, I'm sorry, darling, we can't help you with that. I thought that was going to be a question.
Look in the least obvious place.
Look in your turnips.
Yes. Who wears trousers with turnips?
You do.
Oh, I do. No, not on these trousers. I don't.
Oh, some of them you do.
I don't. Yes. So Louise is referring to when I came out of university. I worked in a jeweller's in Cardiff for the Christmas period to get some experience in the retail side of things, and I had a customer in front of me. The counter, they gave me a ring to have a look at. I dropped it on the floor and I went down, I think it's down here somewhere, and I'm down on my hands and knees and I'm looking under the counter, I'm thinking, where could it have gone? And I've been looking for about 5 minutes and I thought, I wonder, and I reached down, and in those days, being a smart young man, I was wearing smart trousers.
Was it your Oxford bags, was it?
With turnips. With turnips, and where was the ring? Stuck in my turnips.
Hey!
And that's where it was. So yes, what I'm saying is that...
Or like down your blouse, that's where I sometimes find stones and things.
Where you find half your lunch sometimes, Louise.
Yeah, my lunch, yeah.
So yeah, look in the most obvious place. If it's something dropped and you hear it drop and it isn't close to where it is, increase your radius. Get your torch. What I've done, and I'm not quite sure where the batteries have gone, I got one of those lights that you put in your wardrobe, you know, where you push the light itself and it comes on. I've put one of them underneath my tray on my desk. So instead of getting down there with your phone, you just get on your hands and knees, you go push the button, there's a light under your tray, casts a light onto the floor, you should be able to find out where your piece is.
And also a UV, as this is, I know it's not going to help you with the back, but
Go on,
no,
if you drop
a
a
UV
diamond on the
light,
floor,
there's a 30% chance it will fluoresce.
Say that again, a UV light.
Yes,
If you drop a diamond. Drop a diamond?
But most rubies will fluoresce as well, so if you drop a little ruby, sometimes if you sweep a UV light around a long wave, which is the safer one, long wave. Yeah. I think it's long.
And you say 30% of diamonds will
you've got a 30% chance it'll fluoresce, which is it's worth it's worth doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But a light under your
It's like the mantra, isn't it? Every time somebody drops something in the workshop,
the first thing you do is get
Dakota used to say 30% of diamonds fluoresce, and she'd be there with the UV torch. Yeah. Good. I was going to say something else. Gordo's saying that's an interesting bracelet. Thank you. It's new. It's Cologai. Can we get a close-up shot of? And which is.
I have to lean over. This camera doesn't have.
Which is North Wales. Cologai is a Welsh.
There we go.
It's a Welsh. Whoa! I got to do this now, haven't I? It's a Welsh brand of jewellery, and it contains rare Welsh gold. Which I think are the little acorns. So yeah, excuse me, I've been doing some gardening, that's why I'm all
scratched.
Yeah. I had a fight with some conifers yesterday. Yeah, it is really lovely and I fancied it for a while. So I've got it. Here we are.
It looks very boohoo.
I know, I love it. It's really cute.
It's very good.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Tim is saying, what is the best lighting to use for bench work?
Off bench work.
Yeah, I'm sorry, taking over now, aren't I?
No, okay. So you've got to have different varieties of lighting. So this is not the ideal situation. Pardon me. So what you've got to have is lighting that your overall lighting, and then your best bet then is to get. We use the Durston's bench lighting, overhead lighting that has LEDs in it. Have LEDs these days because it's going to be far cheaper on your electric bill. Some have fluorescence, but we use the little overheads. Whether you have them with fluorescent tubes, you can, or LEDs. Durston have just produced a new professional one. It's about 150, 160 pounds. Absolutely brilliant. You can have different colours. You can have warm light, cool lights, and all the lights in between. Different brightnesses as well. I would definitely go for something. To have lights like these in the studio are great, but they are so bright. And that one does my head in, and that one does my head in because they're directly at me. But overhead lights, localised lights, general ambient
overhead
lights.
Lighting.
Yeah, so general lights we have in the workshop downstairs. We got cool white, that's daylight bulbs. We use tri-phosphor fluorescent tubes. They're brilliant, they are bright. They do wear off over a period of time. If you replace them after a few years, I think it's about 4 years, you'll notice it is so bright, but you've always still got to have your bench light that goes right above you, whether you have it hanging down or whether you have it on a stand to the side of your bench. But one of the Durston lights, we've got these, I don't have anything in this one, the small ones they produce. Don't get the ones with the magnifying glass, waste of time. You won't be using the magnifying glass, and the magnifying glass makes you feel really sick. When you look through it, it's all over the place. So don't buy the ones with the magnifying glass, get the strip ones that go above the bench.
It's kind of like, you know, when you see like a dream sequence in a film, or if somebody takes something and they go, ooh, it makes me think of that.
It's like your 20 times loop.
I can't use it.
No, it's just weird for this, isn't it?
That's definitely like that. It's like a drug scene in a film.
And on that note,
I was just going to say, Sandra didn't know what turnips were.
Really? Oh, turnips.
Yeah, they don't have them in. They don't call them that in.
All right then. So what they are, right? Get your trouser, okay, and they're turnips. So the bottoms of the trousers are usually turned up to produce a lovely, lovely like a turnip, right? And what happened? What happened? I had a ring.
She thought you were saying turnips.
Turnips. Oh, my dears, right? And then I dropped the ring. It went, oh, in my turnip like that. I think, where the hell's it gone? And I looked in my turnips, and what happened? There was the ring.
What were you looking? Oh, you were looking for the ring in your turnips.
Yes.
Oh dear, cuffs. They call them cuffs.
Cuffs.
See, in the UK, cuffs are on the end of your
arms.
On the end of your sleeves.
So those are cuffs. Yeah. Cuff links.
Yeah, you don't want to wear them on the bottom of your trousers, do you?
Well, cuff links look a bit silly. Like, oh, that could be a good trend.
Start something new.
Trend.
Heard it here first.
Cuff links on your trousers.
Trouser links.
Bam. Look at that. On that note,
what do you call turnips then? Oh, cuffs, yes. Time to go, isn't it?
Should we go?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so next Monday is going to be our regular Q&A, and the Monday after that, the 22nd, yes, is going to be the pricing workshop.
And we're so organised, we've arranged the one after that as well.
We have. We've been talking about that as well when we went running the other day.
We did.
Excellent.
I'm quite excited about it because I think it's going to be good. We have both sleeve cuffs and pants cuffs. Sorry, we call pants your knickers, don't we? Your unders, your bundies,
boxer shorts, your bundies. Yeah, boxer shorts. Wouldn't have turnips in your pants.
It's getting silly.
Sometimes when I put my pants on in the mornings, they do. The ends are slightly turned.
I don't think people need to know this. I think it definitely is time to go.
Right, we're going now. We shall see you next Monday for the regular Q&A. It's the workshop the week after that, the 22nd. Should we go, Louise?
I think we
Before
should.
It gets any further.
Yeah, I don't hear about your pants.
So, Louise.
Goodbye.
Everyone, enjoy the rest of the week. We'll see you next Monday. Bye for now.